Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Blast podcast. This is our Avengers Endgame review. I'm joined with Grayson. My name is Keenan.
I can't believe it's actually here. It's here now. Yeah.
10, well, is it 11 now? 11 years of, this May technically would be 11 years. 11 years of films came to this one endpoint, Endgame. And we're here to talk about it. The first few minutes of the podcast is just going to be our spoiler-free thoughts.
Yeah.
And then we'll later get into some spoiler thoughts.
Because we have to talk about the spoilers.
Exactly. Majority of this is going to be talking about spoilers, but we're going to give you our spoiler-free thoughts to start with.
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen the movie for whatever reason. Before we even get into that, the movie made $1.2 billion worldwide this weekend.
So I saw it the second time last night.
Yeah.
And I went to the theater that we normally go to. And you know that theater's not usually very...
we go to that one because it's not that packed.
Yeah. Every parking spot was filled.
Oh, really?
They were canceling movies to show more Avengers shows.
Really?
Every theater was... I'm pretty sure every theater in there, like every actual showing was, I'm pretty sure, Avengers.
Endgame?
Yes.
So I drove by the movie theater that we went to see the movie.
Yeah.
On the way over here. And there were actually people parked in the grass.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is amazing for a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it is. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like
as soon as last night as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this movie is beating.
It's
Avatar.
gonna be really cool to be like in 20 years, be like, yeah, we were there for that, because it's almost like our generation's Star Wars, because we weren't alive when Star Wars was coming out. Granted, Star Wars was something very new.
Mm-hmm.
This franchise has been around for a little while now, but it's still like an event film where like you're seeing people who don't normally see comic book movies or all the Marvel movies are going to see this movie and saying that they love it, which is just really cool.
Yeah, it's like all general audiences are going to see it now, and it's crazy because I remember when Iron Man came out, I got mildly picked on because I was like, oh, Iron Man, you nerd or whatever. I was like, but I can't wait for Iron Man, and now it's so funny,
and all those people are going to see this movie.
Yeah, they're
now.
going to see. I'm like, well, and then they're also they come to people like you and me when there's subtle things or whatever. They're like, what does this mean? I'm like, you casual. I'm kidding. If you're a casual fan, you're allowed to enjoy it.
Sure.
I'm not hating or anything. It's definitely an experience to have with all the different people in the theater for sure, and it's become more than just like a nerdy thing. It's become it's just a cultural phenomenon. And honestly, a monumental moment for films and for
it's just
everything.
A huge accomplishment.
It is, and
it's definitely going to break that Avatar record, though.
Yeah, I know you said
I didn't think it
wasn't, and I was like, nah,
because I was thinking that I thought Infinity War was, and when Infinity War came out, I thought that was going to be the one that could possibly get pretty close to breaking Avatar, and it didn't. It got in the $2 billion range, but it didn't really get close to breaking the record. So I was like, if that didn't do it, I'm like, we're probably going to be around the same. But this movie's going to make a lot more than Infinity War. It looks like, which just blows my mind.
So what was the opening weekend for Infinity War?
Domestically?
Yes.
350.
Okay.
Here.
What was it globally?
1.2 billion.
So that was for Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the opening weekend was. I want to say it's in the 280 range or 290.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I remember I saw the news come out and I was like, it's only Sunday.
Yeah.
I was like, that's insane.
And there's people still talking about going to see it multiple times.
I've already seen it twice. You've only seen it once.
I've seen it once, but I plan on seeing it on Tuesday. So that's just another $10 to $12 that they're gonna get on my money.
People are gonna go see this movie multiple times.
Yeah.
and for obvious reasons.
And there's not really much competition out right now.
Nah.
What was really cool to see actually is that Captain Marvel jumped up into the number 2 spot for the box office this weekend. So like took a dip because it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
And then it soared past all the other movies and it's right behind Infinity War.
Because,
granted by, behind by a lot.
I heard so many people say that like I still haven't seen Captain Marvel. I'm going to see it before I go see Endgame,
right?
Because I just haven't got the chance. So that's honestly the reason right there.
Exactly.
People are like they missed out on Captain Marvel, and now they're finally
trying to get it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made like an extra $8 million this weekend, which is pretty cool.
Marvel just piling on the money.
I know. So essentially, what happened was Endgame made as much money as Captain Marvel did in its entire run. So far,
weekend.
They did it in the first weekend.
Oh my!
Doesn't that blow your mind? I think
insane.
they've almost made as much as Black Panther did its whole entire run.
Oh my god,
weekend.
dude!
So that's just like perspective.
That's insane.
Yeah,
and
it's just gonna keep going at least for another 2 weeks. I could still see it being
like for the next,
over 100 million like next weekend.
Next weekend, by next weekend, it's gonna be $2 billion.
That's insane.
It has to be because Infinity War, its overall run was $2.3 billion.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Oh, and then what? So what is the record like for Avatar?
Let me look it up real quick.
Okay, because like I remember Infinity War, you said it was like that was at 2.2 billion, and I said it was probably Endgame will probably get to like 2.5 or 2.6. But honestly, at that point,
Avatar is more than that.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure it got close to $3 billion.
Why did Avatar?
Okay, so Avatar, not the Last Airbender, made $2.7 billion.
Endgame's crushing that.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. Like if it's already at 1.2 billion, it's gonna at least double by next weekend.
That's insanity.
We're
gonna help it get there. Just me and you alone. We're gonna help it get there.
I'm probably gonna go see it at least 2 more times. Like I still cannot still cannot stop thinking about this movie. And let's get into our thoughts. I think we've talked about the
spoiler free.
Yeah, the spoiler free.
Keep me in check because I'm really bad about spoiling things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean we're not going to talk about any. I'm not going to talk about any specific plot points. Yeah. But I just want to talk about the overall film. So
okay,
for me,
or the whole experience in general.
think this is the greatest Marvel movie of all time.
Okay,
and I think that it is. If it is not a perfect film, it is damn near perfect because I don't know how they did it, but it gave me everything I wanted and more. And I could not be more happy enough with this film.
Yeah,
like it proves that people have been complaining about like the whole fan service aspect, or whatever.
No, that's the best part.
And I'm like, yeah.
That's the best part because this is probably the only time you're going to get moments like that.
It's like
in the movie.
People have been speculating certain moments in the MCU for years, and so many of this stuff happens in this film. Like the last hour, I'm not going to say anything about it. It is just like I was grinning from ear to ear for the entire time, and it was insane. Like. And I can't. And it honestly, it makes me sad that a journey has. This is an end of an era.
Bittersweet.
Like, yeah, it really is. Like I went home and I was just like I was sad because I was like, man, this is a good way to put it. And someone told me this way, like the worst thing about Endgame is that I'll never be able to see it for the first time again. Mm-hmm. And that's so true because like if I could watch
the anticipation of it. Think about like. Especially maybe since maybe Civil War around that time.
Yeah.
You knew that at the time it was called Infinity War 2, but you knew that everything was going to lead up to this moment. And like it made all the Marvel movies from around that time period to now so much more special because you knew it was going to build up to this one moment. And it's like you said, it's like you're not going to get that first time feeling again with this movie.
It's such a rare thing, and like I don't know if we'll ever see something this big.
Not for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could probably do it again, but it's gonna be at least another 10 years.
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I mean, because obviously we know Marvel movies aren't over. This isn't the end of the MCU, but like because obviously Spider-Man: Far From Home and plenty of other films. However, it is like these characters' legacies and stuff like that. Like it's closing all of these chapters and all of these characters in such a beautiful way and it makes me like so happy just like that I got to experience it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away by this film. Like I was so nervous going in because I was like, there is a lot resting on this film.
Yeah.
And I just like I walked out and I was like, they did it.
Yeah.
They actually did it, and it's insane. I don't understand how, but like it's my number one MCU movie for sure.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Do you worry that it's like reactionary or that you just know? Right
I've
away?
seen
It's
it
like one of those
twice.
things you
I'll let you know
Yeah.
on the podcast if my mind changes. That maybe it will, but right now, like you know, I've even stated that like my biased opinion is that like Spider-Man: Homecoming is my favorite, and then my all-time favorite was Winter Soldier.
Okay.
But this just was like it just blew past them for me.
I think for me, obviously, I loved the film. I've only seen it once, like I said, so at the moment, I still, for whatever reason, the Winter Soldier is still my number one, and I just can't ever shake that. And I don't think anything ever is gonna shake that for MCU.
I can understand that,
but
I think.
This would have to be number 2, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
If I were doing a ranking right now after only seeing it one time, but it might change because it's one of those films that you feel like you kind of get a sense that it's gonna grow on you even more, even though it's like number 1 for you. You know,
It's
you're
like
gonna grow
Infinity
to
War
love
did.
it so much more in a year from now.
Yeah.
Like we did our Infinity War commentary, and that's a year later, and we're like, you know, we're noticing things that maybe we didn't notice before, or like how certain elements of the story are hitting for us more than they did a year before.
Endgame does that.
That's gonna happen.
I mean, even from seeing it a second time, there was moments that I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like that hit me so much more than the first time, because the first time you see it, you're really anticipating, like you're anxious, you're nervous, you're excited about all this stuff. Seeing it a second time, like you know what's gonna happen, so you can kind of enjoy it more. But at the same time, like you get to pay attention to those smaller details. And for me, I was fully expecting the second time to like for me not to like it as much, and I liked it more.
That's so cool.
The second time, I could gush about this movie. Like I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever we talk about it, it kind of feels like sentimental or emotional because it's just like, it's so weird.
These movies have been...
The whole thing doesn't feel real.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, I remember we walked in and we were talking before the movie started, and I was just like, I can't believe this is actually happening.
Even like when we were watching it, I was like...
Is this real?
Yeah, it almost felt like, because there's a lot of elements of like, there's a ton of fan service in the movie and things that everybody like. If there's one thing that you've wanted to see in the MCU since it's been around, it's like, if you have a thing, you're more than likely going to see it in this movie. Yeah. No matter what it is, you're probably going to see it in this movie. So because you get to see so many things that you've wanted to see, it almost feels like a dream, like that you're creating, like when in your sleep, because you're just like, it would never happen.
I woke up the next day and I was like, did I see Endgame? I saw Endgame?
You're like, did I see that thing happen?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like, did that actually happen?
And then I was like, thinking about it, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I saw it. Like, and it's so insane. Just, I think I say that all the time, but like,
yeah, I mean, that's probably the best word for it, though.
I think the best thing that surprised me the most was just how well executed it was.
Yeah, the Russo brothers are just like out of this world.
They are movie making legends. They will be forever regarded as some of the greatest directors of all time, because they managed to pull off, not only they started with Winter Soldier, which was which was at its time, and even for the next few years, the best MCU movie. Yeah, universally regarded.
It's in everybody's top 5.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
You're gonna see it in everybody's top 5.
Then they did Civil War, which they took all of these characters and put them in one, and we were like...
Do you remember how we thought that was like a huge thing?
Yes.
The airport stuff? We're like, this is monumental.
And it still holds up for me.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
after
insane.
this movie, it's
and
like...
Then they did Infinity War.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, Endgame makes Infinity War look like a joke. Not in terms of the movie, but in terms of like the scale.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was like... And so like this movie, they were just like...
This movie is
screw
huge.
This, screw that. Like, I'm like, you thought this was big. You thought this was big. Here's this.
It doesn't even... It's weird, but it's almost like this movie doesn't even feel like a movie to me sometimes. It's just like you said. It's just like this event. It's its own entity.
Event.
It's not even just like a film. It's just like something so separate.
Right.
Because
That's a great way to put it.
It doesn't fit in with any other film at all.
Yeah.
Even with the MCU, it doesn't feel like it belongs with all the rest. It's like all the other films, and then this is the ending or the cherry on top.
Endgame is the culmination of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe since day one.
The entire.
Yes.
From the smallest character to...
Like, there are some of these most subtle moments that MCU fans will get, and it's just like, they actually
That's
did that.
why they really, like... it. They really did so much service to the people who have really... Anybody can enjoy this movie, but to the people who really got invested...
Really invested,
comics,
really involved.
The TV shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no matter what it is.
The TV shows.
Yeah. And every MCU movie, like, if you watch those films, and I think that's a big part of the reason why the Russo brothers were really advocating you watching one film a day leading up to Endgame, because if you watched all those films over the years, your return on investment is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
That's why, like, I watched them all before Infinity War, and I know if I would have watched them all before Endgame, like, I probably
catch more stuff.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch them all just like one a day for like an entire month, because Endgame's like the 21st, or 22nd, one of the two.
Endgame?
Yes.
25th.
25th.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The number.
Oh, 22nd. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the day it came out.
No. I'm talking about like the number.
Okay, yeah. You're right. 22nd.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch them all and just like see the entire thing unfold, and I'm gonna be like, and then I'm probably gonna be depressed, or like I'm gonna be upset for an entire week because I'm like, oh my god, it's like we talk about like our age a lot, and I know you're like 6 years older than me, but still, like you would have been 14 when Iron Man came out?
I think I was 15.
15.
Actually, yeah, I just turned 15.
Okay, I was 8.
Yeah.
I was in 3rd grade when that came out, and I remember being so excited, and I remember watching it with my dad and like just being amazed by how great the film was.
Yeah.
And then it just got better and better. I remember seeing the first Avenger, each of these films helped me through so many different things. In Endgame, like, it just wraps that entire saga up into one beautiful
grew up with it.
Event.
Like I can think about many times in my life where like I was like either like going through like a rough patch or something, or like school's hard, whatever it is. You always had like, you're like, well, in a month and a half I got that MCU movie coming out.
It's always
like,
something to look forward to. Like I know so many of my friends who they have it rough in life, and they were just like, Marvel movies is one of the few things that gives me joy.
Those 3 movies a year, they're like looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they kept pushing through.
Yeah. And that's what's like, it kind of sucks that it's over with, but like at the same time, like I'm so happy that they managed to do it so beautifully.
Also, that, and I'm also very excited for the future of the MCU, because I think that this movie sets up some really cool things. Yeah. That we'll get into with spoilers. What is so let's go through some characters. What was, not aside from like the main characters like the Caps and Iron Man and Thor, what was like one character that really stood out to you, or probably had the best role out of the movie, or you know, whatever? What's the one character that kind of...
So give me the...
So I'd say, like, for me, I'd say Ant-Man was a really cool character.
Okay, I was wondering if you were considering Ant-Man as like a big one. For me, For me, it was the 3 that stood out to me the most were well, do you consider Hulk a mainline one?
Not necessarily. I'm thinking like outside of the Trinity.
Okay. So well, for me, it's hard to say. I'm gonna say though, Ant-Man is I loved him. Yeah. I thought they did him beautifully in that film, and it's actually cool.
I feel bad for all the people who skipped out on the Ant-Man films.
Dude, I honestly tweeted it this week. I was like, Ant-Man is one of my favorite MCU characters now. Like, that's why I'm saying people slept on Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, those films, like, you're gonna go back and watch those, and you're gonna appreciate them so much more. Then Rhodey was
you're a big War Machine.
He was just a savage in this film, and I won't say, but he was good. He was great. Just why am I drawing a blank? Don Cheadle. Yeah, so great. Nebula. I thought she was really good in this film, and
she's really grown into.
And I won't say anything, but yeah, she's like, I'm really excited for her future, and especially what James Gunn has plans for her, because like I know he helped. He definitely helped with her arc in this film,
of course,
and so I was pleasantly surprised by her. And then I would say,
we got to say Hawkeye.
I was about to say Hawkeye.
Yeah,
I was like,
I forgot about that.
Like, they really did him. Because of his absence in Infinity War, I think it paid off better that he was not in that film and that he was in this. Because I was like, because people were like, why is Hawkeye not in Infinity War? And then it's like, I think Endgame was the reason why. It's because they knew he was going to be such a deep character. Even Black Widow, like
every freaking character.
Every character.
Yeah. I was just like, as you were going down it, I was like, actually, every character.
That's what I'm saying, man. Every character within that core original Avengers plus Rocket, Rhodey, and Nebula all get their moment to shine.
Yeah.
And whether that
not even just like action stuff, just like writing, character development, all of that stuff.
They got, each of them got Russo'd, as one of my friends said. That's what he calls it.
I love that. That's good.
Even Captain Marvel got Russo'd, and I'll get into that. We'll get into that in the spoiler section. But like, I'm invested in every single one of these characters, and it's like they did it so great, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about non-spoilers.
Yeah,
that we loved it, and it's almost hard to talk about because it's just such a unique feeling.
Yeah.
As compared to any other MCU film, because you know that this is the end.
Yeah.
We should get into spoilers.
We definitely should. If you have not seen the film and you were living under a rock, or you just couldn't get to a showing because it's super packed and making like billions and billions of dollars, that's understandable too. Quit watching because you do not want to be spoiled for this film. If you have been spoiled, I am deeply sorry.
I feel bad for anyone who's spoiled.
It would crush my heart. So please just stop right now because we're about to get into spoilers. In 3, 2, 1, go away, please. All right. So, what's the first thing you want to talk about?
Oh God, there's so many things I want to talk about right now. I'm actually really excited.
I'm going to talk about I think my favorite moment in the film.
Go.
Cap wielding Mjolnir.
Okay.
What an awesome scene.
Yeah, you like screeched a little bit when that happened.
I flipped out, man. He goes ham on Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it again last night, and like, dude, they did that scene. The way they build up, you see Mjolnir lay on the ground, and he's about to kill Thor, and then as soon as you just see it lift off, you're like, you know.
Oh yeah.
When
it moved a little bit, I was like, Cap.
I was like, as soon as I knew it, I think we looked at each other and we were just like, it's Cap.
Yeah.
And then you just see the shot of him holding it, and the way he uses it combined with the shield, like he's like
goosebumps right now.
Man. I know it's so good. Like, one of my favorite moments is at the very end of his like combo on Thanos, because he's like pinging the shield off of the hammer and like bouncing it off and stuff, and like he just destroys him. And then when he gets that final, he pumps it up in the air and then slams it down on the ground and just electrocutes Thanos. I was like, so sick.
Comic book movie gold.
People have been wanting this for years, and they've set that up, like we said.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. That was a little thing, and we all were like, "Oh, that'd be so cool if he wields Mjolnir," and they did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" I didn't think I was gonna see it. People predicted it, but I did not think it was going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about it. We were like, this movie is actually pretty predictable. Like, all the things that we kind of thought would happen ended up pretty much happening. I mean, but it's also still hard to believe.
The top 3 things that people predicted and I believed would happen.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily believed, but like people predicted was Cap going back in time to stay with Peggy, which happened.
Yeah.
And I was not disappointed that it happened.
That was great.
Because it was so beautiful, and like you could just tell that he was happy.
Yeah.
He had done what he needed to do, and he had peace and happiness, and it was so beautiful for Cap. The other thing is Iron Man wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Stones. Dude,
that was such a cool
inevitable,
moment.
and I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Boom, just snap like that. Like, that scene's leaked online, and I've watched
Perfect.
it, and I'm like, so good. The way everything gets dusted before Thanos.
I love that.
Thanos like gets to see everything get destroyed, and then he slowly dissipates. Oh man, so good. Like, what a iconic scene.
It's so funny though because we're like going straight to the end, but the end is like
that last hour, like I said, is nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, but I don't know if catwheeling the owner is my favorite scene. I think that's my favorite isolated character scene.
Yeah.
My other favorite scene, which, come on, man, the charge with the Avengers theme. If you have not listened to the soundtrack, listen to the track Portals.
Oh, when everybody comes out.
When everybody comes through the portals, and the shot
moment.
of Cap where he's by himself and it's playing the music, and you hear Sam go,
on your left.
Cap, on your left. I was like, oh my god. And then
it's weird though, because like I kind of forgot that they're supposed to be back alive again for a second.
See, I didn't forget. I was like, dude, they're gonna have to come and save him. And then I was like, how are they gonna do it? And then you just see that spark.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange.
I
was like,
you know what was funny is that Doctor Strange got a big applause from our crowd.
Yeah,
like our theater. Which is so funny because he was like nobody until Infinity War.
People love Doctor
Strange now. Everybody loves Doctor Strange.
He gets one really cool moment where all of these like hands come out of the ground and he like sucks everyone down into like a different dimension. And I was like, that's really cool. He doesn't get a whole lot to do because obviously he was really big in Infinity War. But and then, dude, people clapped when Spider-Man came back. I clapped when Spider-Man came back.
When Spider-Man came, that was the loudest anybody had cheered.
It was like, finally, people like, girls were like, oh, yeah. Because everybody loves Spider-Man. And so, instant kill mode, oh my god.
Yeah, that was dope.
I just so
We have to go back, though, I think, to the way that this film started with Hawkeye.
Yeah, let's go back because there's like the full just like play-by-play.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get to the end because I just love gushing about that stuff. But the way this movie opens with Hawkeye's family getting dusted, and then it goes to that Guardians of the Galaxy, the Milano, or not the Milano, the what is it? The ship. I don't remember what it's called. I knew it the other day.
We just said it the other day.
Yeah. It is
Serves the B, doesn't
the
it?
Benatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it plays the music. Like I looked up that song. And like it's called Dear Mr. Fantasy or whatever. They open the movie so well. Like, it's such a great opening.
It's okay. So it starts off with Hawkeye. You see that he's Hawkeye, and he's under house arrest. Mm-hmm. His family obviously gets dusted, which is a really cool scene.
It was really it's a really wholesome scene. And then as soon as she walks away, he's like, "Go get your arrow," and he turns around. I was like, he's gonna turn around. She's gonna be gone, and you can see the particles.
But he doesn't think anything of it.
He's just like, "Where'd she go?"
Yeah.
And then he turns around.
Whole family
gone. And he's like, Aura. He's like, boys, and he's like, you can feel the pain, man. And then
then we go to Iron Man with Nebula. They're playing some paper football.
That was great.
And then we get Tony talking to Pepper through the Iron Man helmet. Not sure if that message ever got to her.
I'm not
never really specified. But you can see that Tony had not been eating.
Dude, he
looking
was
a little bit anorexic.
So frail, man.
Really, he looked really ill.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then
the music going on during that whole thing, if you listen to the score, was just like beautiful. The score during that whole
thing.
If you
get the chance, anybody just go listen to the score from beginning to end. One of Alan Silvestri's best work.
Yeah, it is. I think it
is. I looked
at
at all of his stuff that he had done, and he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while. I was not familiar with it. He did like Forrest Gump and stuff. But then Captain Marvel obviously comes and saved them.
Big surprise. I thought Pepper Potts was going to end up coming.
I thought it was going to be Captain Marvel.
Really?
I figured she was going to, and because I thought they just set that up. It makes sense.
This is interesting. I wonder how they found. I was trying to figure out how she found him, but I'm thinking maybe it's Rocket's ship.
Well, so what happened is, I probably know the answer. So the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel, it shows her showing up at the Avengers facility. That I thought was going to be a scene in
the movie.
It probably was going to be, but they probably cut it out. So what happens is that happens. Then they tell her that they're still up in space, and then she goes out to find them. And then that's why there's not like this grand introduction. Like when she flies back, she looks at them, and they're not surprised who she is.
Yeah,
they know who she is. So that scene happened before.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I was just curious. Out of all like the infinite space that's out there, she happened to find them. But like I said, I think it's it's also Groot's ship that he piloted. I'm sure there's some way that he could track it.
Groot?
Or not Groot,
Rocket's up there. He's like, he probably has a
tracker.
Yeah,
he probably has some way of tracking it.
And like she said, she knows people, so like she probably could have figured out where
Interesting.
it was at.
Yeah, so Captain Marvel comes back, then she dips out.
Yeah. She goes away for a while. Well, she goes away after they kill Thanos, which is really what a great moment is when Thor just goes.
I really wasn't shocked by that at
I
all.
wasn't either, but it was just like it was really cool how they did it.
Oh yeah. I just had this feeling that Thanos was gonna die really early in the movie.
Yeah.
This version of Thanos at least was going
the
to
future version,
right. But this was really cool. But
I want to backtrack a bit. So when Tony gets back, there's a scene where he's really frail. He's hooked up to an IV machine, and he gets in an argument, or he lays into Steve. And it is one of the best acted scenes from Robert Downey Jr. by far.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like
I think everybody, because you could see the emotion in everyone's face.
It was rough to watch.
Yeah, because they kind of knew he's kind of right.
Yeah, exactly. Even I love how he calls back to Age of Ultron. And he's just like, a few years ago, I wanted to build armor.
Suit of armor.
He's like, that didn't work, did it? And he was just like, you said we'd lose. It's like, I said we'd lose, and you said we'd do that together too. And guess what, Cap? We just lost, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, he was like, dude, but Tony's right, man. He saw this coming, and people were giving crap to Tony about all of his protective plans and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was right.
That's 100% true.
He had the best intentions, and it came to bite them in the ass.
This and also going back to Tony, I think one of the coolest, or one of the best writing points that they really kind of focused on was him struggling with the loss of Peter.
Yeah.
And how that really messed with him.
It's hard because that was almost kind of like not his son, but it was a kid he looked after, And
it was honestly the thing that got him back into the fight,
because he's washing the dishes
Yeah.
at his cabin. And he sees that picture, and he was just like, well, maybe I'll just try to see it. But I love him and his daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter is adorable.
That was sweet.
She, I'm this is hard to, weird to say. I'm not a big fan of kids usually, because kids can be annoying, but she was just so cute.
Yeah.
And she,
they got the perfect kid for that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Her with, the helmet and everything is great. But I Love You 3000.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my heart, dude. It's so sad. Man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but I love that he says just we bring them back as they were, but keep everything the same since then, because he didn't want to lose his daughter, and that's that was because that was what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
When I was like, he's gonna do that, and he's gonna lose his daughter because they're gonna backtrack. But I'm glad that they kept everything in continuity. It is weird though to think that all of them lived through 5 years, but Peter Parker says, he was like, dude, I remember how it got all dusty
for
a few
seconds.
I must have passed out. So for him it was just nothing. He just he died, but it came back. It was no time.
That's one of the concerns that I had about the movie, where I thought that there may have been an issue. I think they almost wrote themselves into a corner, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because you got to think. So for example, Scott's daughter Cassie is older now, but you got to think about all of Peter Parker's classmates. They're 5 years older now. The ones that didn't get
apparently
dusted.
Ned isn't, and then apparently Aunt May doesn't look like she's older.
So, but I'm thinking about that is a little bit weird now, because there should be some people from his class that are 5 years. They're graduated now.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be back as whatever age he is.
It is weird.
It can mess with, if that actually happened, it would mess with the whole world. Because you gotta think, there are people that probably did move on and remarried, and then their loved one comes back thinking, I've been gone for a second.
Yeah.
And then they're remarried 5 years later.
It's definitely a weird thing. I don't hate it. It's just it does kind
it's
of.
almost one of those things
me.
I kind of I have to choose to ignore, because it will bother me if I keep thinking about it.
That's honestly the only criticism I have with the film, is just because of that. Which I'm glad everybody came back, but at the same time, it does cause a little bit of problems.
I thought
but they just have to deal with that.
I thought if they were gonna bring people back, it would be rewinding the entire universe essentially, and it obviously didn't happen that way, which could really mess with things.
Yeah,
interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, man, there's a million and one things I could talk about. I want to talk about this. We were kind of going from the beginning, but this is a part kind of midway through the film. Hawkeye and Natasha.
Yeah,
that was rough.
Yeah, they really set that up perfectly though, having
Yeah.
them two go on that
As
mission.
soon as I saw Vormir, I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, oh, they're just gonna get the Soul Stone, and then I thought about it.
You're like, wait a minute, I've been here before.
Yeah. But the way that scene perfectly echoes Infinity War,
Yeah.
I haven't done it myself, so don't quote me on this, but I feel like you probably could take the Infinity War scene and the Endgame scene and line them up perfectly, with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it would be the same shot for shot.
That happens a lot.
With Hawkeye and Thanos crying, and then the way Black Widow and Gamora are both laid out in the same position too.
It happens a lot throughout the film. You see a lot of the parallels between the two films, especially with the music.
Yeah.
They even replay the Thanos entering or landing on the Avengers
Oh,
compound.
yeah.
And they play basically the same music that they did with him going to Wakanda. But yeah, that scene is it's huge. It's emotional.
I wasn't actually expecting Black Widow to die when I went to this film. I could see Hawkeye more than Black Widow, but I was like,
I think that's what was so cool about it though, is that it was such a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I definitely thought it was going to be Hawkeye that took the fall.
Yeah, he had already lost everything, but he was going to do it too. When he leaps and you see him jumping, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And then then they twist it, and then she gets him hits him with the grappling hook, and then I was like, oh no. I was like, Black Widow's dead, dude. Oh, man.
Hard to believe.
Yeah. And another thing is when they come back and the way Bruce's reaction, you see him he just falls to the floor.
Yeah.
And the way there's a great line that they say, it's just do we know if she had any family? And he goes, and Steve goes, yeah, us.
Yeah.
I was like, that's heartbreaking, man. They had to. So they lost. Overall, they lost two people. Two people died, and one person didn't die, but they retired.
Yeah.
Which was Cap.
The Iron Man one was tough.
Yeah.
That was probably the most. Okay, so everything epic in the world was happening in that moment, and our crowd was just and excited. And then when they see Tony crisped on the side or whatever, it got so quiet,
dude.
It was so quiet. Mm-hmm. And then all you hear, there was two older ladies behind us.
Yeah.
And they were just
yeah.
And I was like, and then you just start hearing it around the whole theater, and everybody was just crying.
Yeah, I was tearing. I definitely shed a few tears. I was I had to pull off my glasses.
When he snapped his finger, it never
clicked.
There was so much going on in the movie that I never thought, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that just never hit me until that whole thing happened, and then the moment with Peter and Tony was just.
That was a great moment.
That was tough.
It's when. I love the line with Pepper, that you hear earlier on in the movie. She's just yeah, but would you be able to rest?
Yeah.
And she says you can finally rest, because we know Tony Stark, even though even if he wants to stop, he can't stop.
Yeah.
Because that's what he says. He's and I want to stop, but I can't.
Yeah.
And I think he says that in I think it was in Iron Man 1, maybe it was 2. Maybe it was 3. I don't know. It was one of those films where he was just
3.
He's just but I can't stop because because in reality I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really nice line that they connected that he finally had that ending
to rest.
Dude, such a great character.
We're hopping everywhere around, but just speaking on Iron Man, the proof that Tony Stark does have a heart.
As soon as I saw that, I was I choked, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to start crying.
Yeah.
Because I was because I love that scene.
Yeah.
And I'm they brought that back. And every time I see Harley from Iron Man 3, because did you notice him the first time? I don't think you asked who that older kid was. Maybe it was somebody else.
Was that him?
Yeah.
No way,
He's
dude.
right behind the Guardians, I believe. Or he's the Guardian.
At the funeral. I said, who's that kid? Because they were really focusing in on him. Was that the actual actor?
Yeah, that was.
Oh my god,
Ty Simpkins.
Wow, I did not notice that.
Is it Harley Rathaway or something? I don't know.
No idea. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I saw him and I was like,
man, that's really cool that they did that.
Yeah, I see that, and I lost it, man. I was like, that's right. And especially when the pain that's on Peter Parker's face as well. Like you see, he's kind of like, he's not at the very front, but he's kind of like midway through there.
Yeah.
And when he goes back to school,
he's still emotional.
Like you can see it in his eyes. But then I cried when he does the handshake with Ned again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I relate a lot to Peter and Ned in the sense of like me and my best friends.
Sure.
I'm like, and I know that like it's really rough, but like, you know, they have each other and stuff.
Moment, yeah.
And let's see, there's just so many moments.
I really want to talk about Thor because that's one of those characters that's one of the things that I didn't love. It didn't bother me a lot, but I didn't love.
So the first time I saw it, I was like, they're gonna keep him fat the entire movie. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
But then I watched it the second time, and I'm not upset about it. I actually really like it because it's the way, like, he goes full on Viking Thor in this. Like when he gets Mjolnir and Stormbreaker and has them both, and then his beard is braided and he has the glowing blue eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool. Like he goes full on Viking Nordic Thor.
I just didn't like how they tried to like make a joke out of him throughout the whole movie. Like we saw like Rhodey saying he was like full of cheese whiz in his veins. Like, it's running. I'm like, he's becoming like the running joke of everybody. You know, he's just becoming a joke to everybody. It seems like, even though he was like obviously he's still strong and powerful, but that. I wanted to see Thor kind of like, I wanted to see a struggle with the loss of everybody, you know, but I wasn't prepared to see it in that way.
Well, see, I saw him with the long hair and the beard, and I was like, okay, it's going to look like he's not taking care of himself, but he's still going to be, like, in shape. And then as soon as you see, like, the love handles and, like, the fat belly, I was like,
see, like,
oh my God.
For me, though, it's not even just about the way he looks. Like, it's just about how he is as a character now, because it just seemed like it. Like I love that Chris Hemsworth gets to be funny now, you know, with Thor, because he does a really great job with that. But it seemed like instead of him making the jokes, he became the joke. That's how I felt in this movie. It was like he was there to laugh at, not necessarily laugh with. That's how I perceived it.
The scene with him and his mother I thought was a really great character development. Like so she says, she was like, we have to stop trying to be the people who we're supposed to be and be who we are. Yeah. And then that's when he gives Valkyrie the throne of Asgard.
It's good. Like there's good bits and pieces. I just like I don't know. It's getting to be a little bit too much for me. Like with the whole the jokes. I think.
I like it.
I think it's just preference. I think it's just personal preference or whatever. Yeah. Like as soon as like his mom was like, "This isn't in my Thor," he's like, "You're right. I'm from the future." Yeah. Like, you know, it's funny, but I'm just like, it's such a strong shift. And I'm starting to see it's not becoming like a gradual thing. It's just such a strong shift from the character he was.
Well, it's 5 years
early on. Yeah, I mean,
there's a 5-year difference between.
And he was probably drunk at that moment in time too, because
he was perpetually drunk through the entire film. Yeah, I mean, I think the 5-year difference makes a thing, and like especially just
But like I had to like really look past like you're bringing up the moment, like this is probably why the character works for you more, is that you can bring up the moments that like you said between his mom and him, and then the moment between Valkyrie and Thor, which I actually really really liked that. But like I have to look past all of the fact that the movie was very much about, here's Thor, he's fat, it's funny. Yeah. Like, and it just kept on kind of hammering that point home. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm over this by now. I just want to see this character develop instead of making fat jokes about the way.
I think it could have been nice maybe if he slowly lost fat over the point. The film or something. Just, like, I mean, I feel like he's the god of thunder.
But it's not even like about the way he looks. It's just the fact that the movie kept on hammering the point that he's fat. Like, and let's make fun of this because he's fat and he drinks and he's filled with cheese whiz. Like, I don't care that he looked that way so much. Yeah. It's just the fact that the movie kept on just, like, making a joke out of it.
I mean, I don't think it was, like, they made a joke out of it that much. Like,
I felt like it was.
I mean, they were kind of roasting him, I guess, yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Maybe
that's my thing. It's like, I'm not trying to say that I'm upset that he was fat. It's the fact that it's just like, oh my god, like, let's keep talking about it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think in the end it ended up being
it's
okay.
all personal preference. I know he's gonna be freaking 8-pack Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, because
in Guardians 3.
He didn't even get fat.
Yeah, like I know it's gonna change or whatever.
No. I know. I get what you're
It's
saying.
just kind of like it came from like when I think about Thor yelling "Bring me Thanos" in Infinity War, it felt like a step back for his character in this movie because I was wanting a little bit more of that. I wanted more of like the angry, I need my revenge kind of Thor in this movie, and it just became like I'm miserable, I'm fat.
I don't know. I think maybe I'm just taking a bit harder on like the more emotional scenes, like when Bruce goes to the cabin and he says he says Thanos' name and he's just like, and then he puts his hand on him and he's just like, don't say that name or whatever.
Yeah.
You can see the emotion on his face.
But it always gets undermined by a joke right after that.
Well, right after that, he's just like, yeah, we don't really say that name around here, but like
yeah, I know. I'm saying like, okay, then it's Korg. You know, it's like there's always like, especially with Marvel movies, there's always like a serious moment. Here comes the joke, and to kind of like undermine that serious moment. You really have I'm telling you, you can look past it, but it happens a lot in the MCU.
I don't know. I mean, I just I see your point, but I don't think I agree.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's all personal preference. For me, I wanted... You probably were fine with that version of Thor, and I wanted a little bit more of like the serious side of Thor. I wanted to see him angry the way he was. Like when he stuck his when he stuck his axe into Thanos and looking dead in his eyes, telling him, "I told you you'd pay for that."
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that times 100 because it's just so much more worse now. Like almost wanted him to be like a loose screw compared, like not necessarily working with the Avengers, plan, because he's just like, I just want to like lose control and kill this dude. I want to see more of like a darker Thor, I guess.
I can see where that's coming from.
That's what I thought, and I guess my like expectation or the reality or the movie didn't meet my expectations.
I think if the film stayed within right after it, like that first year, I think that would have been different, because you see it like the anger, especially in that opening scene where he literally kills Thanos. Like he's just like,
it set the tone for that, and then it just went.
Well, he even
back.
says, I don't know, but I think after 5 years, eventually he he killed him, but he didn't know what to do. He was just like, he's still devastated that he lost, but like he got his revenge, but then nothing. He knows that he still failed. So it's like, he says like, why would I be scared of that guy I killed? He's like, who killed that guy? And he was like, and he said Stormbreaker, and I was like, who's holding Stormbreaker or whatever? But like, so I mean, I see what you're coming from, but
I think we're just like on two different like
yeah
planes. I don't think either of us are wrong. I think it's just like a matter of what we wanted.
Yeah.
Or I guess.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen. I think I would have been fine either way, but I don't know.
It's funny though, like whenever I'm like annoyed at stuff like that, I'm like, I'm laughing at the jokes. They're funny.
Yeah.
I'm just like, at the same time, I'm like, man, it would have been cool if this happened.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because like we're talking a long time about this, but it's just such a small nitpick for me, because it's still like, this movie's like an A+ for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's pretty pointless.
I guess we'll move on from Thor or whatever, but
Thor.
Let us know what you think about that whole thing, because I actually wasn't even remotely thinking about that, but
I'm excited for him to be in Guardians 3.
Oh, for sure.
Which is something that I made a video about, like when I did YouTube, like a year ago. I talked about how I wanted Thor to be in the Guardians, because I'm like, he just fits better with that.
I think it's going to be really good, and I hope James Gunn and Taika team up.
Collaborate on that.
Yeah, to kind of do like
or maybe Taika ends up doing a Valkyrie movie.
That'd be cool.
I think that could happen.
I'd be totally down with that. She was really cool in this movie.
Yeah.
I was actually expecting...
Very small role, but...
Yeah. I mean, she was bigger than I thought she was going to be, though.
Yeah.
For me, I thought it was going to be, like, one brief thing, like that opening thing. Where, But then when she came back in the end and, like, the whole, like, all of the women together.
Yeah.
Which I was like...
That was convenient.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, it's not... Like, nothing that annoyed me at all.
Logically, it doesn't make any sense that all of the women...
It was like one by one, everybody came to strike a pose.
But it's still, like, it's cool.
I like the way that they did it in Infinity War a little bit more, because it's more, like, subtle.
Yeah,
when it was Scarlet Witch, or Black Widow, Okoye.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool. This one, it was like, literally, let's find every female character that we can get and
Shuri,
stick them in a shot.
Gamora, was Nebula there? I don't remember.
Every freaking woman character was
Captain
there.
Marvel. Speaking of Captain Marvel, what did you think about her in this film?
I just didn't care.
You didn't care?
Yeah, like I didn't think there was enough of her to like. I thought she was pretty much the same. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think I do agree, but at the same time, I actually liked her better in this film. Because in the beginning, she felt like that kind of original Captain Marvel feel. Then after that 5 years, I actually liked her a bit better. Like, you can see that, like, she kind of improved a little bit. And there's one moment that she just says, like, she looks over to Rhodey and she says, like, she says good luck. And I was like, I think there's a thing between them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not too sure. But
I think it's just that Air Force type of
maybe yeah.
respect.
I'm sure they have like a bond over that as well. But I was like, okay, that was a cool little moment. But then when she comes in towards the end, like I think she did an awesome job or whatever. But like even like Thanos still doesn't like. She doesn't just destroy Thanos. Like, she kicks his butt a bit.
Yeah.
But then she, like, when he gets the Power Stone, rips it out of the gauntlet, and then punches her.
Dope.
I was like, that's sick.
Like, that's what I need more of.
Because she was like, I mean, like, he headbutted her, and she just looks unfazed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really cool moment. In my opinion, I think the Russo brothers handled her the best way they possibly could. Because I did not want her to be all the way out through this movie.
Yeah.
And when she popped up in the end, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I liked how they handled that. And...
Also, I didn't mind her at all.
One moment, it's like when Peter has the gauntlet and he's like curled up there, like when the airstrike comes in, and she lands and he's like, hey, I'm Peter Parker. She's like, hey, Peter Parker. He's like, you want to give me that?
Yeah.
And it was so funny. Like, I just love that. Like, he's like, Tom Holland's so great.
Dude, this version of Peter Parker did not give a crap about his identity.
Oh no,
at all. He's like, as soon as he like shakes somebody's hand, he's like, all right, I can take the mask off and be like, hi, I'm Peter Parker.
I mean, I guess he thinks because they're all good guys, it doesn't matter as much. But like, I don't see any of them becoming bad. I actually was fully expecting that when I saw all the wizards or all the sorcerers come out. First of all, I didn't realize there was that many sorcerers left, but I guess there should be. They didn't all die or anything. I just for some reason expecting only Doctor Strange and Wong.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Let's talk about like some of the characters that did make a comeback in this film, because there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. There is Crossbones.
Dude, you're totally that gets me on a thing, dude. The moment in the elevator where he goes Hail Hydra. I was like, oh my god. I was like, well, that was one of the coolest things. I was not expecting Sitwell or Crossbones or Rumlow to come back.
So they came back. Robert Redford came back.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Natalie Portman came back for this movie
for like one scene.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it was actually like she came back or
I think
did they
it was
have
like a
CGI
filmed scene or something.
Yeah, because the camera angles looked really weird too when she was on screen. Yeah. But she was at the premiere, so cool. Yeah. Who else came back? Tilda Swinton came back.
That was a really cool moment. I really liked that.
That was really cool. Loki came back from the dead temporarily.
That was funny. Like when the Tesseract like flies through. Or no, the Tesseract, and he's like he looks down and he's like.
Yeah.
And like, or when Ant-Man kicks the case, he's like so confused, and then he just picks it up and he's like zoop, just flies away.
Dope. But, I love that moment.
And you asked like, for people who may be confused on that, they're like, where did Loki go? Which someone may have pointed out that like that could be where the show takes place, is in that alternate reality where he gets the Tesseract and goes away. But we all know that like they brought the stones back, so all of them got back to their place. So nothing really happened.
Yeah.
I like the way they explain time in this film as well. It's not like traditional, conventional, like, oh, if you kill someone in the past, it affects someone in the future.
They set their own rules for time travel.
It requires less paradoxical, like, arguments and stuff. And
you have to, like, not think too deeply about it. Because they tell you the rules for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you think about it, you can find loopholes around it.
They literally straight up just said, they were like, they say Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit. Like,
yeah.
Like, they call it out, like, all of these different things. Just like ignore Time Cop, ignore Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, ignore Back to the Future, like all of the time travel stuff. Throw it out the window. We have our own thing. Yeah, and I like that. I was like, they made that.
They simplified it.
Yeah, for sure.
For the kids out there and me.
Another cool moment is obviously Hank Pym came back and John Slattery as Howard Stark.
Yeah.
They came back. Stan Lee cameo was cool. I liked that. Yeah. It was like a younger Stan Lee from the 70s.
So you get a lot of characters from over these, 22 films.
Even like I said, at the funeral, Harley comes back, and like all of these different characters.
You get Peggy Carter.
Obviously, yeah.
At the
Peggy.
end.
Have you seen that meme where it was just like Endgame with no context, and it was just Jim looking through the blinds?
Oh,
like,
from The Office.
From The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Let's see. Yeah, I think my favorite cameo, or not cameo, but like role that came back was Tilda Swinton's, like as the Ancient One.
It's probably the bigger
role
of all of them.
I was like, because it's really cool. Like you think about it, you're like, oh man, yeah. At
She was
one
there.
year, 3 stones were all in New York City.
Yeah.
Which is like extremely coincidental. Like I just never thought
dangerous.
about that. Oh yeah, for sure. I was like, I mean, Thanos could have come right then and there. He should have just done it himself, man. I was like, you don't trust Loki to do the job for you, man.
I know.
He had 2 stones, and they could have just gone up in there. I wonder how Thanos would hold against the Ancient One. Probably
not well.
Yeah. I was like, get the Ancient One back.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to go back to it is one of my favorite characters in this film, and we mentioned it in like the smaller roles, but Professor Hulk. So I loved it. It was really weird at first. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then the more the film went on, I was like, it felt totally normal, like him just always being Hulk.
The best part about it was him going back to 2012.
Yeah.
In the Battle of New York, he's like, it's like hitting the car.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was like,
so funny.
like just so like nonchalantly, like not even trying.
Yeah, that was great.
They
did a really good job on the mocap for.
The CGI was really good.
It was
like
so
good. It looked just like Mark Ruffalo.
Like aside from when he gets separated, like his astral form gets separated from him. That's the only time you actually see Mark Ruffalo
in the beginning of the film, and then
and then the rest of it is just him as the Hulk, which is really good.
Yeah, I really liked that. And then another great joke. The America's ass thing.
Oh yeah, that's becoming
so
like a big meme now on the internet. That was really good.
Sure.
Where he's like, I could do this all day. He's like, I know.
It's like I can do this all day. I know. I love it. It's like if someone explained it like this, where it's like when you go back on Facebook or something like that, and you look at old pictures or videos of yourself, and you're like, God, I was so cringy.
Yeah,
it's like that's what Cap did. He was just like,
especially that's like fresh out of the ice for him. Like,
yeah, he was barely even out. Which is really funny to think about. Then, like, the people in the elevator were probably so confused.
Yeah.
When he went to the elevator, did you think they were going to recreate the fight?
No, I thought something would happen that was different.
Yeah.
But I thought that there would be... I didn't think the whole Hydra thing was going to happen.
I didn't think so either. But that was really
cool that it did.
Yeah.
I'm sure people were like, oh my God, he's a Skrull or something like that. Or, whatever.
Yeah.
But as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, it's because he knows, you know, about the mean Hydra.
Oh, another part. Because I'm trying to think about all the time travel stuff when they go to Morag and he's dancing, but and you hear it they recreate the thing and you're like you get into groove but then he jumps and he's like
Rhodey's like, so he's an idiot.
Yeah. And then Rhodey just punches him, just knocks him out. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody just laughed so hard. He did not hold back. He just
man, now I really want to go see this movie now.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's just we could talk about so many different scenes, and I feel like I've talked about almost everything that I can talk about.
The best thing that we could say about this movie is how they did Captain America and Iron Man.
They concluded their arcs so
nailed them
just like I wanted it to be.
And the passing of the shield from
him to Sam Wilson. What do you think about that? By the way,
I like it.
I like it as well.
Yeah, I thought it was just he developed a really cool friendship with Sam over the years.
Even Bucky was like, "Go ahead."
Yeah, it just felt like the right thing.
It felt right, yes. Because it bothered me. I was like, I don't know. I want Bucky to become Cap, but at the same time, he was an assassin for 70 years.
Yeah.
And then he was a fugitive, and then he got put he was a criminal that got sent to Wakanda, and only just now come back. I don't think the world would be okay with having
represent Captain America.
Captain America, but
versus
Sam Wilson,
an ex-pilot.
Yeah, he was a pilot, and he's kind of become Cap's new best friend. Yeah. He's always been out there to have his back, especially in Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Regardless, we're gonna see Bucky and Sam together
in that show.
It's gonna be.
Do you think it's gonna be after, or do you I think it?
I think it's gonna be after.
Yeah. So it's weird though that they're calling it Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I guess like maybe he'll still call himself Falcon, but he'll be technically like.
He could still have the wings with the shield.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they like gave the wings a paint job because like the comic book suit for Falcon is really cool.
Red, white, isn't it red, white? No,
Yeah.
Well, there's a version of it that's
it's
red
got
and
the
gold.
star and like kind of like the Winter Soldier suit on the chest.
Yeah.
Then his cowl is like his normal like Falcon kind of look with the goggles, but then it's blue. His wings are like red and white, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool design. So hopefully they do that. I'm excited. They wrapped up this movie so well with those characters like.
Those two characters. Those are the big ones that they had to nail.
Yeah.
Like, they had to get those ones
two,
right.
The two biggest ones, they've been there they were the two biggest from the beginning. Technically, Hulk was before and Thor was before.
Thor's just getting started. There's nothing, like...
Yeah,
it's
Thor
not like
is
they
still...
could kill him off or anything.
And I know Chris Hemsworth wants to do more as well.
Yeah.
Especially,
with the Guardians,
yeah.
oh my god,
I'm so
man.
happy about that decision.
That makes me so happy.
I'm glad I remember you predicted that, and I was like, I'm on board.
That would be so cool. Yeah. Well, at the time, I thought James Gunn was done.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, Taika Waititi can come do Avengers with Thor. Or not Avengers, Guardians with Thor.
Yeah.
I was like, that'd be perfect, but James Gunn is back.
I want Taika to like help co-write or kind of like co-produce, maybe be a producer for the film and not be a director. Let James direct it, and then also help Taika like help improvise. Like
I'm so excited.
Do you think Korg and Meek should be part of the Guardians too?
No, I think that they're gonna still hang out with Valkyrie.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think because the Guardians are pretty stacked now.
They've got I mean,
they still have Nebula. They have Drax.
They don't know where Gamora's at, though. That's another thing we forgot to talk about.
We have no idea where Gamora is.
Yeah, that's probably going to be what people are saying is that's going to be the film that's going to be a big plot point for Guardians 3.
Let's just give her solo film. I love Gamora.
You love Gamora. I know you do. You are a sucker for Gamora, and she's great. I love her character.
Not a huge role in this film. But
yeah, definitely not. But it was a pleasant
crucial
surprise
part
to
too.
see her as well. To see that past version of herself still have that.
You pretty much see every character that you can think of in this movie. Close to every character.
Yeah. I thought there was one thing that would have been cool is in the Battle of New York if like you could see like Adrian Toomes, like Michael Keaton, like start
cool.
the cleanup, maybe, or he walks into the Avengers building, he's like, "Where do you want me to start?" They're like, "Oh, that's a cool little detail."
Right.
But they still like. I even thought they may even show young Peter Parker as well, but I was like, I feel like there isn't really room for that, so I was like, I'm not gonna cry if that didn't happen, and it doesn't. Endgame.
Amazing movie, man.
Such a great
film.
So
freaking good.
Except Keenan thinks Thor is trash.
I don't think he's trash. I don't think he's trash.
You hate Thor, just admit it.
A little bit, if they could just change a little bit for his character.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like it went on a little too long. Until the end, he started becoming more of his, like, badass self.
Yeah.
Which happens to be the part that I don't mind. And he's still fat. So, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not about the weight. It's just the jokes about his weight that was, like, getting to me. But
yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about this movie for a long time. And there's just so many great things about this film that it's just going to be dissected for a long time, and it's always going to be regarded as one as like just a monumental moment in time.
Yeah, it's
like
it separated itself from anything else.
It's not just a movie like people say. Like it's truly like an experience, a journey, and an ultimate finale of like the culmination of the MCU. And I'm really happy that I got to like live through it all. I'm sad for these characters that they're gone, like that they probably won't be coming back, or like these Iron Man and Cap. But I'm excited.
Cap, we might get a little cameo of
maybe.
Old Man Cap.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Maybe like in the TV show, it'd just be like a little.
Dude,
thing.
Maybe like Sam's like having a tough time or whatever. Needs some advice.
Like, some elderly wisdom.
Yeah, go sit on Grandpa's lap a little bit. And...
So does that mean that Peggy died? So
I think she still died. Dude, if we talk about this, we're gonna get into some major like timeline because I thought about this stuff, like him going back and how that affects everything.
Because that means there'd be two Caps.
Yeah, the whole thing is just
no, I can't talk about
this. That's why I said, I'm like, I didn't want to bring it up.
I can't think about this.
The other night, I was up for so long, and I was actually getting a migraine because I was trying to, like, understand how this affects the timeline and him staying back there.
Yeah.
Because we're getting into the whole thing with the Infinity, like everything changes. The Battle of New York, like Cap isn't there now.
Well, no, that's not true.
Is he in a?
It's a different Cap.
He's old. No. Okay, so the Cap that exists with the Avengers left.
There's two Caps now, is what I'm saying. Essentially, what happened is when he went back in time, there were two Captain Americas.
Okay, yeah.
He went back in time, and
the other one's frozen.
The other one's frozen. So then did the other one get woken up and then like go through all of the events that happened throughout all of these movies? And then the other one was
still exists?
Yes.
Dude, you see how that messes with things?
Why did we get to this?
That's why we have to not...
I'm so upset
because
now.
Either one or two things happens. Is that when he comes back for whatever reason...
He killed his older self.
Oh my god.
He's like, I will kill you, and just strangles him. So then he's the only Captain America.
That's so bad. Yeah. Oh my god. Because like if
brings a whole new level to suicide.
Because either there's another one or something happened to the original one. Maybe he never. No, like I have no idea. I have no idea how that works.
What did I think?
Because that means that Captain America still exists. But that's the rules that they set up within their own universe. Is that there would be two now.
So I don't want to think about it.
Cap's still alive. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Captain America's not done. Woo! Dude, one Cap is just crying. He's like, "I'll never get to see Peggy."
Yeah,
and then the other one's like dancing.
Yeah, for real, dude. That's really messed up. No, I think somebody's got to have an answer for that, right?
Like, had to.
That's really getting to me now. So, yeah, there's two Caps.
We should drop this, I think.
Somebody let us know.
So if he took this... also, that's another thing that I've been thinking about. How did he get the Soul Stone back? How can he... Did he just...
Oh, that's another thing I thought of, too.
Yeah,
I'm like, you just drop it down there or something?
Yeah, I'm like, because... it was a soul for a soul, so like, did he just leave it there? Like, did he? I mean, he would have had to have taken it to Red Skull, or he would have had to have prevented. No, that doesn't work because that's not like the way. But like, he had to take it to Red Skull and be like, "Here's the stone." Like, he just has it in it.
Red Skull's alive and he has the stone.
Yeah, but that means Cap
he wouldn't do that.
Had to have met Red Skull. There's no other way.
I don't know. I really don't know.
But, I mean, it's still a cool thing to think about, though, is that Cap actually did get to meet... Because, he was in there, they said he's in there for as long as he needs. So, like, he took the stones back, but, like, maybe that'd be a cool little thing to see, is just Cap, like, or meeting Red Skull again.
There's definitely... This is why I don't feel like this movie's as, like, tight-knit as Avengers Infinity War. I feel like that movie is, like, really well like constructed. Yeah. And this one you can find little things here and there that can give you some problems, but it's up to us to just be like, whatever.
For me,
and just enjoy it.
I'll retract my statement that it's a perfect film, because clearly it's not. If I'm thinking about all this stuff, a perfect film would mean like it has like no problems whatsoever. Yeah. However, it's still to me like, because of all of the things that it does right and how well it does it, it's still my favorite.
That's why it's still like an A+ for me.
Yeah.
Because of the things that they're able to pay off. We can get into a whole discussion with like The Last Jedi, because you mentioned something like right after about The Last Jedi or Star Wars.
I did.
And I was like, here we go. I'm ready to rant about it.
Maybe we'll talk about that on another episode.
But because like, they really delivered something that the fans really wanted to see. Like, you can't help but just be grateful and just appreciate what they gave you.
This movie is for the fans. That's what it is. It's for the people like you and me who stuck with it, have been there since the beginning, and the people even who jumped on midway through, maybe even at Infinity War, they went back, maybe watched all of them. It's like they really just delivered to the people who they knew cared about it so much.
And now we're on to Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I'm so excited for Far From Home.
Yeah, I am too.
I think these next few months I'm going to get more excited about it again, because it was really refreshing to see. Like, with the in-game hype, I wasn't too concerned about Far From Home. Even though I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan, I love Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and I love John Watts. I love Homecoming. I was more focused on in-game, and I'm like, I don't really care right now. I just want to see like what's going to happen, because obviously he's going to come back.
Yeah.
I want to see how that happens. But now that we've seen that, now I'm like, all right, how is this gonna move forward. Because, I mean, Nick Fury is still there, Maria Hill is still there, so it's still very much the characters that we know and love.
Right.
It's interesting to see. But, so July 2nd?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hyped.
Yeah, it's going to be... There's Mysterio pictures, man. They
look great.
They look... Dude. Apparently, though, I saw something where it's like, if Iron Man was, like, the father figure, then Mysterio's, like, the cool uncle. And I was like, wait, what?
No.
I was like...
No, I don't like that.
I was like, is he going to be like a...
Take that back.
I was like, is he going to be like someone he looks up to, but then... Because I want Mysterio to be a villain.
I'm so sick of Peter being like a fanboy about people. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like the cool.
It doesn't seem like he's a fanboy, though. Because, like, in the trailer, like, when they're looking at the TV, he's not like...
Yeah, he's kind of like almost
he's
jealous.
Like, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Different discussion for a different day.
Yeah.
But these next... it's end of April, so 2 months, right?
Yeah, two more months
Seems
until
like really far
far
away.
from home. It is far
From home. Too easy.
All right, we're deleting that. Cutting that out.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for our non-spoiler and spoiler discussion. I'm sure somewhere along the line we're gonna do more breakdowns of this eventually, or we're gonna be talking about this for a year. So
In-game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just...
phenomenal movie. I'm so happy that we got to experience it.
It still doesn't... Like you said, it still doesn't feel like I actually saw it. Like, it doesn't still... feel real.
It's gonna take like a year for me to like.
It's gonna
really
take me my
accept it.
entire life.
Probably.
We're gonna be dissecting this movie. God, man, it's the end. They ended it and they did it, dude.
Can't wait to get whatever Steelbook comes out for that.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to.
Dude, I'm so sad you don't have Infinity War on Steelbook now.
Well, it was just Thanos.
Yeah, but you gotta have them all.
No.
You gotta. It's like the Infinity Stones. You have to have each one.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Maybe it's probably got to be something with. It's got to be something with Iron Man, right?
I think so. But then you don't want to. What if do you think it's gonna have spoilers on the cover? Like,
shoot,
man, what if it's like a kind of like an artistic drawing of like the entire charge scene?
It also could be something to like kind of wrap up the whole. I don't know. You know what sucks is that like in another like 5 years there's gonna be like a complete collector set of. All 22 films.
With a real,
it's gonna cost like $300.
$1 million set.
A real Infinity Gauntlet
that can actually
with actual
kill everyone.
stones.
Guess what, guys? Infinity Stones, they were actually real. This is a documentary.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. I didn't plug our social media earlier, but you should definitely follow us on Twitter at comicblast_ and Instagram at comicblastofficial.
We're actually back on it now. Sorry to cut him off. He said at Comic Blast Official. I apologize. If you didn't hear, if my voice was too loud. Yeah, we were off social media for a while because of the in-game spoilers and stuff, but now we're in the clear. I don't have anything to worry about spoilers, so I'm going to try to be more active on Instagram. Again, I cannot risk it whatsoever. So yeah, hit us up on social media. Our personal things will be linked in the description. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back to our regular podcast format next week with possibly a special guest, so keep an eye out for that. Anything else you want to add? Avengers Assemble. Oh, good. I like it. All right, cool. All right, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.